Alright, so we recording. This might be a little low, so I'm gonna turn up the volume on you. Forgive the if you can hear the AC I got over there. Got the AC running. How you guys doing, man? I hope y'all doing alright. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for watching this video diary, this video journal. My name is Ronin Xaver. I make these videos for myself, and hopefully you guys can gain something from them. If I'm being honest with you, I would love to gain an audience from this, some type of audience, just so I'm not talking to myself the whole time. You know what I mean? But this video title is called "It's Okay to Express Your Spirituality." Now, the reason for this title, the birth of this title, came from me feeling as if though it was not okay for me to express my spirituality. Now, the reason why I felt like that for the longest of time, for a while, it was because I felt as if though it was wrong for me to impose my truth on another individual. Now let me explain. It's funny because it's almost as if that problem was born out of my own spiritual belief, or my own ideology per se. I wouldn't even call it a spiritual belief. I would call it more of an ideology. And that ideology, excuse me, I'll be sipping on some water every once in a while. And that ideology is that every individual has their own truth, and as someone with their own truth, me being an individual, it's wrong of me to try to impose my truth on another person. Let me adjust these levels one more time. I don't want it to get to where it's obnoxious, you know what I mean? But that's not to say let me try to get my thoughts straight. That's not the same thing as saying that it's wrong for me to teach someone about the way how I view the world. It's not wrong for me to teach someone about my ideologies and views. You know, the ideologies that I have are all born from the same foundation. That foundation being simplicity and practicality. Like, it's literally as simple as saying you are a human being, therefore you are these things, you're comprised of these things, you come from these things, and you create these things. You know, that being the absolute basic way how I can explain to you my philosophy. Now, I have multiple philosophies. In fact, I got writings on writings on writings, right? That's just something that I enjoy doing. It's just one of those pastimes that I have, writing and, writing down how I view the world and whatnot. But me having the ideology of believing that everyone has their own truth got in the way of me, in terms of me believing that I shouldn't try to impose my truth on anyone else. And that really begins to contradict itself whenever I put myself into a teaching environment, right? A teaching environment, for example, I am a teacher's assistant at an elementary school. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not that good at my job. I'm a terrible paraprofessional. I'm not a terrible paraprofessional. You make copies all day, but I am much more a influencer, a motivator, and a role model. Far more than I am a goddamn teacher's assistant. But I bring that up because while I'm in school, while I'm at work, uh, you interact with kids all day. All day I'm interacting with kids, but there's always a couple kids that are always gravitate that will always gravitate to me more so than others. And those kids being exactly like me. You know what I mean? You'll always end up meeting kids that are like just like you, and it's like, holy shit, like I gotta teach you something or else you're gonna be screwed. You know what I mean? But then it came to a point for me where I was like, oh wait, hold on, should I teach you anything? Because if I do that, then I'm just imposing my views on you, and I'm just imposing the way how I view the world on you, whenever you should be trying to find your own truth. You know what I mean? And it's not the same thing as me writing down every single view, every single philosophy that I have, and saying, okay, here is my work. Read it and master it. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm saying that, but it's not. It's more so a thing where it's like this, not this in literal terms, but this is my truth. This is how I feel the world is. So for me to not give you this, I mean, first of all, this is right. Like that's the biggest problem that I'm having right now. Because if this was false, if there was something wrong with this philosophy, then I'd have no problem sharing it with people. But the fact is, this shit is awesome. And so it's like, am I wrong? Am I really wrong? Oh, my side, kidneys, lungs, whatever the fuck is right here. It hurt. But yeah, it just comes down to a thing where I'm not sure. I did this video about 4 or 5 times already, so I'm not sure if I told you guys that my philosophy is based off of practicality and simplicity, but it definitely is. This grapefruit juice can wake you up. Surprisingly, grapefruit juice is a lot better than eating a fucking grapefruit. Grapefruits are terrible. I wouldn't wish one on my worst enemy. Tangent. Moving forward. But yeah, that's the biggest thing, is like the fact that my philosophy is based off of simplicity and practicality, because I found my philosophy by trying to find myself. The most basic root of my philosophy is the fact that you're comprised of 4, or you're not comprised, but you have 4 vessels with which you view the world, operate within the world per se. You view the world, operate within the world, and move in the world, right? And those 4 vessels, those 4 bodies are your body, your mind, your soul, and your spirit. Now, for a lot of people, that's some basic ass shit. That's some really like bare bone. Yes, you have a body, mind, soul, and spirit. Now, a lot of people, they never really get into the whole core definitions of a word, so they never go, okay, what are these things exactly, right? In tarot, which is like this ancient fucking card game that Yu-Gi-Oh was based off of, which was crazy shit when I figured that out. But in tarot, there's a card called the Magician. Now, the Magician has 5, I believe it's like 5. I'm just like literally just getting started into the whole bullshit, but it's like he has like 5 things which basically represent everything that you're comprised of. He uses everything, right? And basically, I don't know where I was going with that. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Not even gonna lie to you. I don't know where I was going with it. But you got a body, mind, soul, and spirit. Now the thing about this spirit, the thing about these four things, is that these are all houses for you, the self, right? That's just the foundational thing, and then it gets so much deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, to where it just gets to a point where I'm like, yo, if I could just teach one person this, they would be good. If I could teach one 10-year-old kid this that I figured out as a 20-year-old, and I'm getting ready to well, that, god damn, man, I need to get my thoughts together. But I could teach an 11-year-old this something that I found out when I was 20, they'll be good, you know. And I started looking for this philosophy when I was in high school. I was in the 10th grade whenever I first mastered my 7 sins. And that's another thing, because the 7 sins philosophy gets so much deeper rooted. It's like the body is comprised of, this is just me telling y'all basic shit. This is literally, like, to me, this will be like, to a lot of people, but to me, it's just some basic shit. You know what I mean? You got 4 things: body, mind, soul, and spirit, right? And within that body is 5 senses: sight, hearing, smelling, seeing, and whatever the fuck the 4th one and 5th one are, right? And then the same way how the mind has its facets, and the soul has its facets, and the spirit has its facets. Spirit, that was a doozy. I'm still figuring that part out. Or actually, no, I think I got about it's the self. It's the facets of the self that I'm figuring out, because the 4 bodies are just bodies. Like, they're just vessels they're just cups that you put water into. They're just cups that you pour water into, right? And water is water, right? But that liquid, which is the self in this metaphor, is comprised of hydrogen and oxygen. Or to be translated, it is more complex shit, right? And it just breaks down into its singularity form. That's another thing. I'm not even finna get into duality and singularity, because that's a whole nother video. But that's my whole point. That my philosophy is so practical and simple that if someone were to learn it early on in their life, they would be good. But I'm having a problem where I feel like I shouldn't do that, because they're an individual and they should be able to do their own thing instead of me having to force mine. But I'm not really forcing it if they want me to learn, if they want to learn from me. That's the biggest thing. If they want to learn from me, then that's fine. But I'm not really one to be like, hey, let me impose my views on you. You know what I mean? Hey, let me teach you about my Lord and Savior. I'm not that type of dude. I'm just not. You know what I mean? I would rather much just chill. And then if a kid's like, hey, sensei, teach me your ways, I'll be like, shit, I don't know, bro. You ready for this shit? They'll be like, yeah, teach me. I'll be like, alright, I got you. You know? But that's the price of advanced knowledge. Responsibility. Maybe I'll tell y'all about the inner workings of my philosophy for a little minute, because I ain't got nothing else to do. Why not? So, enjoy.